about 10 things I wish I would have knew before getting into my first relationship. So welcome to the video. I'm Tonetta Clay, your social worker and your coach. And of course, I talk about relationships on this channel, mindset, and of course, life. So welcome to this video. Like I said before in the intro, many people, you will of course see people that's married, you'll see people that are in relationships, you'll see people talk about bad about relationships, you hear some people talk about relationships. That's good. And like I said, a lot of folks don't tell you the ins and outs and how to do things once you actually get into the relationship. You just hear the gossip and you see the people hugging and holding hands and all those types of things, but you don't hear about exactly what it takes to get into a relationship and to, of course, keep that relationship healthy. So like I said, I'm going to be sharing 10 things I wished I knew before getting into my first relationship inside this video. These are the things that I've learned over the years that I wish I would have knew, like I said, a long time ago. My first relationship, my first actual relationship actually led to marriage. I got married in my early 20s. I think we started dating I guess when I was in college, and we got married when I was 21, going on 22 years old. Yes, that was young. I know that, but that's okay. It was definitely a learning experience, and that's where a lot of these things came from. Actually, a lot of these 10 things came from. But like I said, I wish I would have knew how everything could work inside the relationship, especially when it comes to communication inside and outside the bedroom. But like I said, that's okay. I compiled these 10 things for y'all. That will, I hope that it'll help you, of course, think about either your upcoming relationship or the relationship that you're in. So let's go ahead and get into this, y'all. Number one, be fully present. Fully present means being in the moment. We have a lot of distractions. We have a lot of day-to-day issues that come up. We have to learn how to ignore those distractions and those day-to-day issues. Not ignore them where you don't work on them, but ignore them to a point where you can focus some of your time on your partner instead of just everything taking over your day. And like I said, that was one of the things I had to learn because, of course, I worked in foster care case management when I was in my first relationship, in my marriage, and that kind of thing. And that job, of course, as a social worker, that job is, I can't say it's 24/7, but it took a lot of time and energy. Sometimes I come home just wore out, have a headache, all kind of stuff going on. Sometimes I got home late because I had to place a kid. All of a sudden, somebody blew up a placement, something happened. Like I said, that was a very demanding job. And of course, coming home, I wasn't always fully present because I'm still thinking about my job, thinking about what happened, whether that kid is doing okay in that placement, or the information that I heard that day, the re-traumatization I've heard about somebody else being molested or beaten or that kind of thing. And like I said, I wasn't fully present. I know that now, but I wasn't fully present inside that relationship. And like I said, I have to realize that I know now that I have to ignore those distractions that come about. And the day-to-day issues, ignore those too. Like I said, not just ignore them in your life, just go haywire and crazy and in the toilet, but ignore them enough where you can focus on your relationship and be present with your partner in the moment. Number two, I realize now that we have to, or you should definitely, or I had to regularly, I can't get the word out, y'all. Oh my gosh. Regularly connect with your partner. I got it, y'all. All right. I know I'm silly, but I got it, y'all. But connecting regularly with your partner, like I said, definitely. I know now, of course, he had different jobs and different things going on. I had the job that was demanding as well, and we didn't get a chance to actually connect or see each other during our waking hours when we got home. Sometimes his job was overnight. He was, of course, leaving when I was coming in. On the weekend, he was working or that kind of thing, and I'm at home on the weekend, like I said, by myself or that kind of thing, which was fine by myself, but I had to realize that we still had to connect somewhere in there. Whether that connection was just a hug and a kiss, hello, good morning, or goodbye, honey, see you later, or whether that connection was a sexual connection, or whether that connection was a hug that we could just hug each other for a long time. Whatever that connection is, I had to realize if I had to, that in relationships with anybody, I don't care whoever I was in the relationship with, I had to connect regularly with that person, and that's every single day, not once a week, not every month or that kind of thing. You have to connect all the time with that person, at least once a day. I would definitely say more than that, but starting off once a day, I know that now. And like I said, yes, it's fine and dandy to, of course, have your different work hours, work schedules. I guess if you have kids at home or family, I don't know, outings or functions or whatever it is, your friends, going out with them. Yes, it's fine and dandy to have all those things, but your partner is the person that you're staying with and you're trying to create a relationship with and committed to. That person should be on that agenda as well to connect with. Not just somebody that's just sitting at your house and you just come home, have honey, go in your room and do whatever. And leave him or her out there on the sofa. Like I said, we definitely have to go and make sure that we have, like I said, connection every day, at least once a day. Like I said, I know that now. Number 3, openly communicate. One of the things that I realized in my first relationship slash marriage was that, of course, I was coming out of trauma, of course, which I had therapy and that kind of thing in college. I had therapy for like three and a half years while I was in college. And of course, I met him while I was in college as well. But of course, I had the therapy. Like I said, me coming out of trauma, and I knew that. That's why I went to the therapy. And I'm sure he had his traumas as well. And like I said, us coming together, not fully knowing how to express ourselves with each other. Of course, there was howling, yelling, arguments, all types of things, and nothing actually got accomplished, except for somebody trying to prove the point, I'm right and you wrong. That's all they got accomplished, actually. And like I said, now I know that open communication has nothing to do with arguing. It has all to do with being able to, of course, be honest, be vulnerable, be intentional about expressing yourself to your partner. Your emotions, your feelings, what's going on, how your day was, whatever the case is. If they did something that you didn't like, of course, expressing that in a healthy way to that person. And not just, of course, we can exchange words all day long, but if you're not actually communicating to resolve the issue or whatever it is, that's not communication at all. I know that now. Like I said, I wish I would have knew that years ago. I know it now, but like I said, it took me some years to, of course, to learn that, to build up my own communication, to learn the words to express myself, to learn the words to express my feelings and what emotions I was feeling and those types of things. It took a while, but that's okay. But like I said, I had to learn how to openly communicate and not be scared to, of course, share my feelings and constantly sweeping things up under the carpet, I guess I put it that way, to keep the peace. 4, I learned to not get too comfortable in the relationship. And by comfortable, I mean I don't mean that you cannot lay at home and be on the sofa, enjoy yourself, have a lazy day. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being comfortable inside the relationship where you forget that your partner is your partner and you stop dating your partner. You stop trying to give your partner those googly eyes or trying to, of course, initiate a hug or a kiss with your partner. You just got too comfortable where you don't care about doing your hair anymore, putting on some nice clothes or putting on an outfit, I guess I put it that way, during the day and that kind of thing. Like I said, making yourself feel good, but also letting your partner know that you're still, of course, a human being and that you still, of course, love yourself and care for yourself. And you're going to keep doing that in their presence. And also like I said before, not getting too comfortable where you just expect your partner to do everything for you and you're not even dating your partner anymore. You're not even trying to clean up the house because they're going to do it anyway. Like I said, you're getting too comfortable in that situation. You have to realize, and I had to realize that I could not get too comfortable either. My partner's still a person. My partner's still my partner. And if I'm not trying to entice this person or to, of course, not entice, I don't know what the right word is, but like I said, just to have that kind of relationship and have that kind of oomph in the relationship that my partner knows that I'm still there for them. I'm still willing to do what it takes to keep them. Like I said, then otherwise I was getting too comfy. I don't care, go find somebody else and that kind of thing. Some of those words I did say back in the day as well with my first relationship and marriage. And like I said, I was getting too comfortable at that point. Well, it was also coming from trauma, I'm sure, but also getting too comfortable in that relationship as well. And not saying you can't let your guards down, please do that, but don't get too comfortable where you're not dating your partner anymore and that your partner knows that they're still your partner. Number 5, keep your relationship fresh. I had to realize that, of course, keeping my relationship fresh and doing new things and, of course, taking adventures and discovering who my partner was still and that kind of thing, I had to realize that was definitely important. Not just doing the same old mundane things all the time, Monday through Friday, on Saturday, this is going on. I had to make sure that we're discovering new things together. Together. Sometimes, of course, my partner didn't want it, I guess, in that particular relationship, because I know everybody's not an outgoing person. Everybody's not wanting to explore and adventure. I'm the one that wants to do that. I guess I put it that way. Um, but like I said, definitely still coming compromising on something to make sure that we're keeping that relationship fresh inside and outside the bedroom. Not just doing the same things, a movie and dinner for date night. Switch it up. Go to Six Flags or wherever your theme park is, or go to the water park, or I don't know, go to a food competition show. We just went to one this past Sunday. Do something different. That's all that means, is keeping the relationship fresh by doing something different. And not just doing the same mundane things over and over again because y'all are used to it. Do something different. Step outside of that comfort zone. That's what we had to do, and that's what I continue to do. I guess I put it that way in my relationships now. But I wish I'd have knew that back in the day, but that's okay. Like I said, we all live and we learn. Number 6, connect physically. This is talking about intimacy and sex. I know before I mentioned, I guess, like those hugs, those kisses, the hand touches, the leg rubs, the back rubs, the massages, and of course, leading, I guess, sex as well, all those types of things. But like I said, we have to, when I know that in relationships that you definitely have to connect physically with your partner. Me being a woman, yes, there's all kind of urges I may have as well. And then there's, of course, my partner. He has his urges as well, or whichever the case may be. But like I said, we definitely have to connect physically, and not just, unless you're asexual, you don't care about that, you don't care about the intimacy or the sex. But of course, it's not the only thing in the relationship. I do want to say that. But like I said, most relationships, you have to have some type of connection, physical connection. If you're not hugging this person, you're not kissing this person, you're not having sex with this person, then what, y'all just roommates is what it looks like. I've been in that situation before. Number 7, I wish I'd have knew this back then, but to appreciate each other's perspective. I know that now that my partner is not going to feel the same way that I feel about every single thing and every single thing that happens in our relationship, and even outside the relationship. They have their own beliefs and values. I have my own beliefs and values. And we're not going to always meet eye to eye on things, but I had to learn to appreciate their perspective regardless, and respect that perspective as well. Like I said, it was definitely an eye opener for me. My first relationship, I didn't do that well enough. I guess of course, I failed at that. I guess I put it that way. And I'm sure we all fail at that, especially when we're young and in our first relationships and that kind of thing. But that's okay. I know it now. To, of course, like I said, appreciate their perspective and know that they're coming from a different environment than what I came from. So I have to respect that and appreciate that, and of course, show empathy for them as well when they're going through a rough period or being triggered by something or whatever the case may be. Number 8, I kind of touched on this before, but arguing constructively. Like I said before, me and my first relationship, I wish I'd have knew that then, but like I said, I didn't have the mindset back then at 21. Well, I think I met him when I was 19, got married 21, going on 22. Like I said, I was young. Both of us were young, but neither one of us knew how to argue constructively. Yes, you're going to have an argument or disagreement within your relationship, but it does not have to be a knockdown fight, and I'm gonna kill you, and oh, I got to be right and you always wrong, and this kind of thing. That's not the way that you, of course, argue at all. You have to fight fair inside of relationships. If you all are arguing, hollering back and forth like we did too, hollering, cursing, yelling, sometimes I'm throwing things. Like I said, my temperament was not good back then at all. Nothing got resolved except for who was right, who was wrong. That's all that got resolved. And that always resulted in me having hurt feelings, him being hurt feelings, both of us or one of us being resentful and bitter and angry still about the situation when nothing got resolved. So like I said, I had to learn how to argue constructively. Learn how to, of course, again, like I talk about the open communication, express myself in a way that lets my partner know that my feelings were hurt, or that I'm resentful about this, or whatever the case is. I had to learn how to do that. It didn't just all of a sudden just happen. It took me years. I've had many relationships, but long-term relationships, this is my third one. And I've had other relationships, of course, in between that only lasted maybe a year. Well, long-term, I mean more than 3-4 years is what I'm talking about. More than 3 years. So, like I said, I had to learn these things inside of my relationships. And even the short-term ones, I learned some things about how to communicate and how to argue constructively inside those relationships as well. It wasn't just my way to argue and that kind of thing and forget them and I'm always right. Like I said, they had to learn the same thing as well. And I had to realize that. I had to realize that, yes, while I'm learning these things, I had to argue constructively and learning how to fight fair, then my partner would have to kind of be on that same level as well. Learning those things, or even know about those things, or be willing, or be open to doing those things. So if you're with, because I was with somebody who could have cared less about trying to come to a consensus, or trying to, of course, openly communicate, or trying to argue constructively, or that kind of thing. Like I said, I had to grow to realize that I needed a partner that can do that. And if that partner was not giving me that, we ain't gonna be in a relationship. That's why some of those relationships were short. And that's why I exited some of them relationships too. I put it that way as well. But like I said, I didn't know this back then, but I know this now. Number 9, I had to realize that I had to have realistic expectations. What I was just talking about in my relationship of my partner. Relationships have limits, and other folks may, I guess, like our friendship groups and our family groups and our support system, or our coworkers, whoever may have to fulfill those other limitations that we can't get inside of our relationship. Like I said, I had to start having realistic expectations about that. My partner cannot fulfill every single thing for me that I needed. My partner cannot be that happy place 24/7, because sometimes they may be going through something. So I had to have another happy place, or support system, or support group, friends, family, whoever it was, that I can go to and get that happiness, or whatever that thing was from. My partner's, like I said before, is not, he wasn't the one to always want to go out and be in social groups and do all these activities. I'm the one that wanted to do that. Sometimes we did do that. Other times I did it with either myself, or other friends and family. Like I said, I had to realize that my expectations of my partner had to be realistic, and that they cannot fulfill, and that he could not, and the ones I've had cannot fulfill every single thing that I need inside of my life and inside the relationship. I may have to find it elsewhere, which 9 times out of 10, you are going to have to find it elsewhere. Your partner is not the end all be all to anything, except for the relationship that you all have. They cannot fulfill every single need, desire, and want that you have. But the only thing I would say about that, don't step out on anybody or cheat or that kind of thing. Make sure that y'all are on the same page and understand this about each other. That person cannot, or at least I had to make sure that, to let them know that you cannot fulfill all my needs and wants in this relationship. So when it comes to friendship, of course, I have my girlfriends over here. We go out and hang out and that kind of thing. They couldn't fulfill, what is it, I guess my sense of religion, or I'm just making stuff up, but whatever it is, you have to go to church for that. Everybody cannot fulfill every need that you have. Just realize that and understand that. Make sure that you and your partner have that conversation as well. And the last and the most important one to me was that I had to realize that I had to be my true self within my relationship. I wish somebody would have told me back then, when I first started my first relationship / marriage, to be myself within that relationship, be my true self, and be true to myself, instead of trying to be somebody that I wasn't. Trying to, of course, just please my partner and be the yes girl and this kind of thing. That wasn't me at all. Even though I played that role for many years, that wasn't me at all. I had to start being true to myself, and I had to realize that when I started being true to myself, and my partner did not agree with that, then that's a conversation we have to have. And if we can make it past that point, then of course the relationship at some point has to dissolve, because nobody's going to be happy about whatever the changes are happening. But I had to learn that I had to be true to myself. I can't just be true to my partner and 100% all this kind of stuff. If I have no idea who I am, what I want, what my needs are, and what my true self is. I had to realize that my beliefs and values did matter, and not just his, that I was putting, I guess, and not just his. Even though I was taking some of his beliefs and values and trying to put them into my life, that wasn't what I needed or desired at that time, or wanted actually at all. And I was not being true to myself. I know that now. And of course, I had to implement that in all the relationships that I've had since then. I know that. I didn't know it back then. Like I said, this is the 10th thing I wish I would have knew before getting into my first relationship / my marriage. But I had to be true to myself. Nobody else is going to be true to me but me. And like I said, that was the last thing I needed to learn, that I figured out that I needed to learn and wish I would have knew before getting into those relationships. But I had to learn these things. It wasn't easy. No, I lost relationships because of it. Yes. because of all these things, actually. In some type of way, I've lost a relationship because of it. That's how I can get on this video and let you know that these were the 10 things I wish I would have knew before getting into my first relationship, because they definitely helped me become a better person. It helped me to be in a healthier relationship nowadays. So with that, y'all, again, this is Tonetta, your social worker coach. Of course, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope there's something that I talked about that you can, of course, implement inside your own life and in your own relationship. And I'm sure there's something on this list. Actually, let me know in the comments which thing on this list is something that you're going to start working on and implementing inside your relationship, because it's something that you didn't know before, but you know now. Let me know in the comments, y'all. But like I said, again, make sure that you, of course, subscribe to the channel. I talk about relationships, life, and mindset here. So like I said, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to receive all the videos that I upload from this point here on out. And like I said before, if you ain't seen the ones I did before, go check them out too. So with that, this is your girl Tonetta signing off. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.